It's my time to say all the bad words. Ah.
Perfect timing,
Wrong
Trim.
channel, Trim.
Nailed it.
So, hello people, nice to have you again on my small stream. And yes, you've seen that I have a big ad block thing on the stream, but yeah, no problem. So today we will have again the crazy Australian with us because he was keen to yell at things again. Like maybe he's not doing this enough. So I asked him, do you want to do that again on live stream? He said yes. Here we go. How are you, Bezek?
Angry.
Ah, perfect.
So just normal then, I guess.
Because today,
Yes, but
for the first topic, we will go hard, pretty rough, quickly. Apparently, I haven't watched the whole episode because I don't want to. And the only thing I had at this moment, just before like 20 minutes ago, there was like a heavy focus on queer and homo romance in the Willow thing. And apparently that's not the only thing there is in Willow that make your boys, your blood. Ah, yeah, you know what I mean.
that title, Queer Romance Organic, received no pushback from Disney. There are two major fucking problems with those one sentence. But do you want to have
itself no pushback from Disney?
Well, of course there's no pushback from Disney. There's the ones who insisted on the queer romance, for fuck's sake.
I've put a screen share for in the comment section so you can see better what I'm showing. But yes, I just said this like maybe an hour ago, and some review came out like, this is horrendous. Bitch, did you expect anything else? But yeah, apparently Willow is the
pushback.
Well, maybe you might want to look at the thumbnail that is on the Night's Watch video, which sums up episode 3 perfectly. But of course there was no pushback, because why would they object to something that they insisted on? Like Disney has spent the last decade getting more and more. I need to not phrase this in the salted. They've been getting more and more. They have been moving more and more towards promoting a certain type of relationship, and it is not mum, dad, multiple children.
Yeah, that's not even the big problem. It's just that why in Willow? It's a child movie thing. It's why?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You said it. There's the thing. There's the thing. You said it. It's a child movie, child thing, which immediately means to the creatures who make this, it's like perfect recruitment area. This is where we keep getting the new members to our cult.
It's all about normalizing queer behavior. I'm just trying to remember what they call it specifically without also saying what I'd say in immediate response. Because
it is what you just said.
No.
They literally called what you call it.
Yeah, but they, which in this case is the political left, yeah, they literally have written articles and scientific reviews about promoting queerness. That's what it is. It's about promoting queerness to children for reasons that still remain unclear, though I have suspicions, and for those, well, I don't think Chris likes them much.
Yeah, don't go too far Sultan route, please, because the focus is more.
Sultans every Saturday for that.
The focus is more like on the entertainment and artistic kind of view, but yeah, for me it makes no sense to go so hard on like homo thing, queer thing, trans thing. Willow is just like, it's almost like a bedtime story for children. If you look at the movie,
is literally a bedtime story.
Yeah, and
it is an It is a recreation of your stereotypical, what would you call it? Folktale.
Yeah.
Fairy tale, that's the word. It's a retelling. It's literally a retelling of your stereotypical fairy tale.
Yeah.
But this time the main character is an angry hobbit. Sorry, dwarf. Sorry, halfling.
Yeah, and here, like Bezek said, this is the Night Watch. So it's Shadiversity, but for entertainment, TV show, and all. And yeah, the thumbnail say it all. So bad it made me rinse. Because Shadiversity is a very wholesome and quiet guy usually. So for him to be that angry,
you say that, but on Night's Watch, well.
Yeah,
he has a very similar presentation style to me.
But yeah,
I'm just gonna put it like this: I've gotten a few hours into Shadow of the Conqueror, and he is able to get dark in that when he wants to.
But yeah, so Bezek, you too, you watched the old movie like a millennia ago, and can you describe us why is it so disgraceful and like almost heresy, to be honest, to desacralize something like Willow? Because for me, like it to touch something like Willow, which is almost like innocent, pure, and all, you could say a bedtime story. Nothing is sacred anymore. If you touch Willow or things like that, nothing is sacred anymore to me. It's almost like a symbol and a declaration of war against entertainment, especially for children.
Yeah. Well, Willow is an ultimate nostalgia movie. The plot of the original movie is largely irrelevant unless you are analysing the plot holes, of which there are millions in this horrendous excuse for fan fiction.
You watched the TV show or not?
I've watched Shad's reviews.
Okay.
But to focus on its quality as a piece of entertainment, not necessarily a sequel. One, it looks absolutely awful. And why is everybody in the Middle Ages dirty? They had baths.
Well, they are not sparkly clean either, but yeah, they should be like peasant rolling in mud.
Well, they wouldn't have been visibly dirty. Like they might have smelt a bit. They might have smelt considerably worse. But in winter, they might have gone a couple of weeks without a bath. But they never would have been visibly dirty. Why? Because for all of human history, until the invention of the motor car, you needed to get your water with a bucket. Everybody either had a river or a well within a couple of 100 meters. And so at the bare minimum, get yourself a rag and a bucket and get the dirt off.
Yep. Especially since they are all going on like an adventure and all, so they should encounter a river or I don't know. Oh yeah, you don't have much different word for river in English, but yeah, something with water to plunge in it. And
actually, it's even worse when you look at it in a medieval context. Roads follow rivers. Why? Because walking takes a long time, and what might someone who has to walk for a month to get somewhere might possibly want to do? Drink.
Yes.
And if you've already got your face in the river drinking, why not fall a little bit forward and have a bath?
Yeah, you can hear Trim doing some cooking in the background.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Apparently,
it's a pre-work journey jitters. It's always makes me want to bake shit.
Yeah, apparently he's going in the boat.
Japan had hot springs. Japan has hot springs that have been owned by the same family longer than America has been discovered by white men.
Yep. That's a crazy piece of information. Like it's like a serious business in Japan.
And
the corporation of hot springs.
Having a bath is actually in some Norse stories. Like the Vikings were cleaner than the bloody English at that point, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, being clean is not just a status symbol, but it's just being dirty, being filthy has always been a negative in most human cultures. Because if you're dirty, you're seen as not only just poor, but unsanitary, unclean.
Yeah, you can get disease
you're not
or
welcome if you're dirty.
yeah, you can get disease or just falling ill or something, or having a wound infected or something. I don't know.
Well, before they figured out that bacteria and viruses and other sort of things like that were what actually caused disease, you had things like foul odors, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Something that smells bad is probably covered in germs.
Yep.
Like, say, cesspits.
Yeah, that's one of the things you can use to detect like an infected wound. It's like the smell is not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because animals have evolved to detect things. Well, because of the way evolution works, it's selecting for survival. You might possibly want to smell things that are indications of things that kill you, such as rotten meat being a primary example.
I mean, we understood the art of curing and smoking meat did prolong their usefulness for a reason.
But gentlemen, I have a bit of good news regarding Willow as a whole. Apparently,
they decide to cancel it and retcon it.
Apparently, this is one of the worst rating ever for Disney Plus.
That's impressive considering the track that they've brought out.
Oh, I'm disappointed. I was waiting for the excellent.
Oh, it is pretty fucking excellent, but also remember, you do also have the train wreck known as Strange Worlds.
Oh, there is many train wrecks at the moment. Which one? Especially in Disney.
Yeah, but that's it. This is one of the worst off a train, like an entire train load of shit. This is the worst pile. That is a good thing.
So, yeah, there is some number. I don't know how to read them, to be honest, or analyze it or something, but apparently there is like 481k watch for
481,000 US households watched Willow on Disney Plus in the first 5 days.
And
that's awfully bloody low.
Yeah. Especially for a Disney thing and a franchise so beloved as Willow. Because you have.
Also, I think the reason people love Willow is because they don't remember the movie; they remember how the movie made them feel.
That's possible.
Because Willow as a movie, I mean, the plot is evil witch lady.
Well, Willow,
the chosen one.
That's why I'm saying that Willow is a secret thing, because it's the basic bitch plot fantasy thing ever. Like an adventurer go to protect someone or save someone, or I don't know, meet people on the way, get a bit of power, fight the bad guys, and everybody wins and is happy ending. Yeah. But
like, it's not a perfect movie. It's not the best.
It's wholesome. It's a wholesome thing.
It's wholesome. It's
very, very classic.
Exactly. And people, like, a lot of people don't remember anything about the plot. And they don't need to. But they remember that they watched Willow with the weird dwarf guy. And it made them feel good.
Yeah, because it's a very fun, like, I get what you said, that the plot is not great and all, not very complicated, but everything is good. Like, there is fun, there is adventure, there is a bit of fighting, a bit of monster sometimes. And if you look at it really, like the bad witch, she's a very bad person. Like, she torture people, like she want to kill an infant that just born or something. She's not a good person.
It's a really nice black and white, good versus evil, redemptive character arc romp through the wilderness of generic Europe.
Yeah.
It's great.
And also, you have to remember, people, that this movie came at a time when there was not much fantasy thing, like medieval fantasy thing. They were like Labyrinth, they were like Oh, name the Skeksis thing you like, Trim. Name of the movie.
Dark Crystal Age Resistance.
Yeah, thank you. Dark Crystal. There were, I think, maybe Conan. Maybe there was Conan. I don't know which came first, Willow or Conan. But yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That's much. That's about it. There was nothing else. And I don't even know if D&D came out at that time when Willow came out. Movie.
Age Resistance was the sequel series made a few years ago. The
original
was the Jim Henson's Dark Crystal, which again was an instant cult classic.
That was
made hard.
Yeah. So
there were obviously issues with it, and it doesn't hold up visually, but it was done well. It was. You can clearly tell that a lot of skill and effort went into it.
Yes.
Skill and effort being things that are missing from Disney Plus's Willow.
So, as Stan corrected,
missing in modern, it's generally missing in modern entertainment.
So, as Stan corrected, D&D came in the 70s. So I knew it was old, but I didn't remember when Willow came out. Willow came out in English 1988. So. My year of birth, by the way. I thought it was older than that, but still, it's a very old movie. And yeah, it's one of the cult classic of fantasy movie. If you want to know, like, fantasy classic movie, very old one, Willow is maybe the number one.
And that age is what makes it both very special and why people are so upset about what's been done, I think.
Yes.
Willow came out in 1988. So the people who were born that year, 35 now. So anyone who would have watched it for the first time would have watched it between 30 and 40 years ago. Between 30 and 40 years of age. You know, about the time when you might want to sit your 4 or 5-year-old down in front of a show that you don't remember anything about, but you know you bloody liked watching.
Yeah. When I was a kid, it was fun. So, hey, come watch with me.
well, that's what I reckon is going on, because all people are remembering is Willow. Oh, it's the one with the Hobbit dude. I remember that. No, you don't. But I remember how it made me feel. I remember being a kid and enjoying it and loving it, and it was great, and I wanted to watch it again. So I'm going to sit down with my kids, and absolutely no one is going to enjoy it. So says Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep. 27% average audience score. This is a victory. This is definitely a victory worth celebrating. Willow is dead, unfortunately, yes. Willow is dead, Willow is great. Long live Willow.
Yeah. This article is actually pretty good. If you scroll down a couple of clicks, I'll read from it a little bit.
Yeah, go.
So, as it says, Willow's barely in it. The story follows the LGBTQ princess, and she's like this because of reasons, sure. But it's set to get married to a loser prince.
It's inclusive. It's inclusive.
Where her twin brother, the best swordsman in the realm, gets kidnapped in a band of weak misfits who aren't capable of much of anything, while in battle is off to save him. The best fighter, the most seasoned veteran of the bunch, the Male Knight, gets killed off right away. Yeah, sounds like it's set. And worse than that, the brother is a womanizing... No, wait, someone is a womanizing piece of crap. Well, I think it's the brother, but before he gets kidnapped. And, like... the brother in the dark would make a better woman than the main character.
Pretty much. But it's just that if it's a guy and his wife, then he has to be an evil, womanizing antagonist.
Yeah, and there is also something that
I'll give it a little bit of leeway with a prince. We know fucking princes did that. Like, you want to talk about historical accuracy? It's kind of realistic that the prince was off banging the scullery maid.
But there is also something like Monsieur Bière say here at Val Kilmer. He's not even in the show. Like he did off screen, like, oh, he's going in an adventure or something. He's not there.
Oh,
Go
no,
away.
It's worse. It's worse than that. It's worse than that.
Oh,
he abandoned you children years and years ago. The fact that he's on a super secret special mission of undisclosed importance isn't mentioned. No. He abandoned you. But their mother straight up is like, oh, he abandoned you, and I'm really angry with him because he abandoned you.
Oh
the fact that he left on some unspecified mission of great importance to the realm. No. Him being off doing the heroic journey, the Odyssey, even to protect the land in which his family resides. No, he's just an evil bad man who left me here all on my own with my money and soldiers and maids. And let's talk about the soldiers. They are in a goddamn castle filled with soldiers, and we see maybe one soldier fight. In the big battle scene, there's like one soldier that fights. And of course, they get ganked because
they're making more soldiers requires effort, Beswick.
It's
all understood that effort is illegal here.
It's crazy that Val Kilmer character like abandoned them. I don't remember the name of the character, but if I remember the movie correctly, he was dead on the mission. Like, oh, it's a secret mission. I have to protect the princess and all. He was serious about it. He was not the best, maybe, but he was serious about it. It's like it was something important for him, and he would never abandon the children and the princess and all. Like, at least without a dead stronger reason. No, well, it's like the Luke Skywalker thing all over again.
Oh god.
But yeah, like here's the thing, Jim. Extra soldiers takes no bloody effort. All you need to do is give them a full face helmet, a la Star Wars, or film them from the back. You can have the same guy play 100 soldiers and get killed 100 different ways if you film him from the back, amongst 1,000 other extras that look the same. But no, they don't bother to do that. They don't bother to raise the alarm when they see the attackers.
What you mean is that the show is a low effort one? Because I didn't watch it again, so I don't know how bad is it. But
it's awful because so the royal family are in the castle doing stupid people things because whoever wrote the script for this has no talent, no skill, and no desire to do a good job. So the assorted members of the royal family see the bad guys show up, and then they're like, oh my god, I must do something. And then they rush off to either, in the case of the Queen, release the only man with an ounce of muscle in the bloody movie from the dungeons, because he's in there for reasons related to being the sidekick of what's his name, who's gone off on the undisclosed mission of great importance. And
oh man.
And then the other really important people, such as the princess and the prince. Yeah, they go, oh my god, I must do something, and run outside to battle the bad guys. Nobody bothers to go, yell, alarm, alarm, raise the guards.
Yeah, this is telling.
Right, David also reveals that he was inspired by Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which makes no sense. Oh yeah, take a beloved franchise and stab it in the back with a lightsaber.
This is the key sentence.
The one thing I took note of in particular was Mark Hamill returning to Luke Skywalker. Oh yeah, how they completely murdered his character. Jesus.
Yeah. So Lily, if you know nothing about the subject,
sacred anymore.
Yeah, just like Trim said.
That's the thing.
The Willow is a very old fantasy movie, a sacred fantasy movie to be more precise, and they butcher it to no goddamn end. Like it's even worse than they did for Lord of the Rings, apparently.
Yes.
Oh,
which is a feat in of itself.
Yes, but
I doubt it, but I'm not gonna fight that.
With the few information I have, yes, this is worse than Lord of the Rings. Because at least with Lord of the Rings, they tried a tiny bit.
There was no attempt.
At least a pretend of an attempt. But with Willow here, no.
No, there wasn't even a pretended attempt.
No, that was not.
Again, Rings of Power was the worst thing ever created, no matter what kind of medium. But I can agree to that this was as bad. But you can't say that anything is worse than Rings of Power, because that is just physically possible.
Yeah. But so going back to the actual abomination that is the plot. So not only have the entire royal family and and the visiting royal family, because don't forget, there's the prince that the main character is currently cucking for his lesbian.
Oh yeah, there is something like that I wrote, yeah.
So we have 2 royal families in this castle, and nobody calls for the bloody guards. There's 2 royal families there.
Yeah, they are too busy fucking.
Like, if I was going to attack a castle, I wouldn't pick when 2 bloody royal families were there with their entire guards. So they've got 2 royal families worth of escorts. And then, of course, the royal family goes out to fight, which is where the prince, the crown prince, one of the most important people in the frigging kingdom, gets kidnapped. And then, after the fight that they win, because, of course, the main character, Mary, sues her way to success.
Of course.
Through the power of friendship and whatever.
So afterwards, they're having this discussion about, we need to go get him back. Someone needs to rescue him. In that scene, there are at least 7 soldiers.
And is there next? Yeah, go.
Sorry, go on.
No, okay. Maybe we're going to that point, so keep going.
Yeah. So you're in a room with several dozen soldiers, and outside this room, there is presumably enough soldiers to keep your goddamn castle, plus the soldiers that the other royal family brought with them. And then there's the assorted other things that die around. So their solution to the crown prince being kidnapped is we'll send the princess.
The second most important person.
No, and she's not magic. She is not the magic one in this context. She is just. Well, let's talk about. We'll talk about her character later. But in this context, she is an normal human.
yeah, Callum. There is a bit like that. I thought it was meant to be Christopher's stream, not better. That's why I invited him.
Hey, look, Chris asked for angry ranting Australian. That's what he's going to get.
Yep. I'm satisfied so far.
So, we are now going to send the princess, the second most important person in the bloody kingdom, along with other assorted members of this royal family. Oh, and the prince from the other royal family, who we've already established doesn't know how to fight. We are now going to send them on a mission to rescue the crown prince of this kingdom. Not the 100 soldiers in earshot. No, we're going to send a bunch of average humans.
Yeah, not even like a champion or something, or like a very trusted guard, or I don't know. No, just go princess.
Yeah, like
there's no survivor's instinct in any of these characters.
They've got trusted guards. They have several older men. Like even one of them was even. Like sort of the guardy commander kind of guy, I can't go, I'm too old. So we'll need to send the fucking princess. Like, mate, think about this for a second. An old guard or the goddamn princess? Which one of those do you think we should risk?
Yep. But I have a question. That was what I wanted to ask. Is there any information or explication to where Willow is more or less missing, or somewhere else, or not involved in the Kingdoms of Air? I don't know, because even he's still like a stupid half magician halfling. He's still maybe the sole reason the kingdom was set.
I didn't watch it, so I'm only going on what I know from chat and otherwise I've heard. But my understanding is that Willow is off in Hobbiton doing Hobbit things.
Okay.
But, and the Queen banned magic.
This was the reason that everyone was saved.
Yes. Magic, the thing that saved everyone. Let's ban that because one person used it wrong one time, and we won't talk about any parallels we can draw between that and the modern day politics.
Yeah, especially since
guys, I need to leave. I'm being guys. I need to leave for a short while. I'm
no worries.
being cold.
Okay.
No worries.
Fair enough. For the continuation of that thought, tune in on Saturday at 2 p.m. London time on the Sons of Chardonnay, where I tell you what that parallel. But moving on from that. So, we are now in a kingdom that has no magicians because the Queen banned them because reasons. So, we are now going to send like 5 people. We are going to send the princess of this kingdom, the prince of the other kingdom, the lesbian lover of the princess.
Oh, yeah.
And the weird guy that has been imprisoned in the dungeons and has a suspicious amount of muscle mass to someone who's been imprisoned in a dungeon.
But the thing
and by the way, he's the only person that it makes sense to send at all, because he is the sidekick of what's his name, who's been shipped off on the unspecified mission of presumably great importance.
The thing with the magic ban is no fucking reason whatsoever, because if you remember the movie, Willow learned magic from like a curse witch or something like that, or sorceress, and she helped him to save everyone. So the kingdom have twice the amount of respect and reverence they should have towards magic, and like no. This destroyed the whole plot of Willow. Like if you remember the movie again, one of the very first scene you see is with the fist and the finger, like what finger you can be useful for magic, the little riddle thing. This is almost like the entire plot, like what power is most useful? Well, yours. That's it.
Yep.
There is a whole symbols and again a wholesome stories. It's I knew it was gonna be shit, but not to that extent.
so we've got our gang of like 2 royals, the lesbian lover of the princess, the weird guy from the dungeons, who, okay, it makes sense because he's big. Like, he is literally the biggest man in this movie, in this show. It makes sense to send him. He is presumably experienced in combat because he's the sidekick of the guy experienced in combat. Oh, they also send another soldier off, but he's a red shirt, so it doesn't matter.
Red shirt.
He's old, and then he says something stupid along the lines of, "You need to be careful. You never know where they might come." Arrow to the back.
Yep.
Talk about uninspired writing.
Yeah, I will close the Willow thing with this bit of heresy here. So this is the showrunner Jonathan Kasdan. So what's interesting is I hope and believe we're at the moment where you're going to see a paradigm shift in that, and hopefully the way that is going to happen is this case of queer story, particularly like this one, that we were just organic to the narrative we were telling, find their way in and become less of a surprising and unusual thing to see.
Right.
There was nothing like that in the original movie. Nothing at all. There was no reason whatsoever. No.
So let's talk about the 2 things in the title. Organic and no pushback from
Disney.
Of course there was no fucking pushback from Disney. They're the ones who hired you to put it there. But so that's that point dead in the water.
And the next one, to give a bit of context, this comes from pride.com, so it's a very pro LGBT thing.
Yes, but they're also sitting there saying that the LGBTQ parts were organic. No, they weren't. I've seen many an LGBTQ relationship in media that was organic. This wasn't.
Yep. Yeah,
no.
Something I say to many people today is I'm playing Cyberpunk these days, and the game is very more enjoyable than I used to think and I was expecting. So it's nice to have a nice piece of entertainment. And in Cyberpunk, there is many opportunity to have queer, gay, lesbian romance and everything. But it's like you said, it's organic. It's logical in the setting and everything.
I was actually concerned because I'll try and spoiler-free this one for Cyberpunk. There is a lesbian character who ends up being part of a series of part of a quest chain.
Oh, you mean Judy?
And yes, and I was like, oh God, what the fuck are they going to do with this gay character? No, it was great.
Yeah.
The only thing that annoyed me is that I was playing a dude.
Yeah. Well, I was with Panam.
The only likable woman in this goddamn video game.
You didn't like Panam? You didn't like Panam, Bezek, in Cyberpunk? The nomad chick. So. I liked her.
I mean, she was all right, but she was rather mediocre.
She's a bit sensitive and emotional, and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Panam. I love Panam. She's my wife in Cyberpunk. But yeah, Judy is another nice character, and her question, there is 4 or 5 nice questions in Cyberpunk, and the Judy one was at like 2 or 3 times I was like, oh fuck, this is heartbreaking. Oh.
Yeah, like they put lots of skill and effort into that. Like it was organic, it was good. She was perfectly believable within the context of the realm, and I think that's why I prefer her to Panam. Like Panam's great, but she's more. I think her plot line is more her background rather is a bit more forced.
She's like the hot-headed person. Because I went to the full romance with her, and it was very enjoyable. And I think that they went for the character you can romance with, because there is many characters. Like I don't know if you did the cop one, River, I think the name is. This is also like so nice and wholesome and a bit tender, by the way. And yeah, the Panam chick is maybe one archetype of. I would say that like personality or behavior, something like that. She's the hot-headed person. Like she's going straight on in the problem first and then after think. But I like that kind of archetype. I have a soft spot for that. So I think that the emotional hook you have with some character was quite well done, because you have different personality for different potential romance. I think.
Nice. Like they had lots of opportunities to fuck it up by forcing LGBTQ down your throat, but no, it was just, this person likes not this, and it's like, damn it, but I am this, and that's about the end of it. Hello, Trim, welcome back.
Yeah, and Callum has a nice conclusion. Sensitive and emotional, sounds like a woman. Pam, not basic type.
Oh dear.
Oh man.
Are you talking about the Cyberpunk relationship?
Yeah, because we were talking about this piece here. I don't know if you see the screen share I did, because the showrunner say, oh, the queer and LGBT thing is totally organic and normal and not forced in any kind. And I just commented with the many.
Basically wrong.
Yeah, and I commented with the many options of romance and gay character you can encounter in Cyberpunk, and. Yeah, the Cyberpunk thing is totally organic. This doesn't feel like it.
Nah.
Well, it can't be organic because the character archetypes they used are very, very forced. Like the princess alone. Oh my lord. Yes, I'm the short-haired, refuse to wear a dress, bitchy, get in a fight, treat everyone like crap, act like a man. Let me rephrase that. Act like all the bad parts of a man.
Yep.
She was awful. And then there was her girlfriend. And where the hell did she even come from? Who is she? Why the hell is she in this royal castle?
Because reason.
Yeah. We needed a girl that had kissed another girl on camera.
So on this to switch topic a bit, because it's almost like 30 minutes we are on this thing. I wanted to speak a bit about something, and I think I need to have a new link for that, because again there is so much information on the thing I wanted to talk, like maybe it's already outdated, so let me check a bit. May I find a better article or no? Yep, maybe this one is going to be okay. And this is one your topic, Trim. You ready or not?
It depends.
Do you want to talk about the Transformer upcoming movie?
I need to take my headset off.
We've already
Transformer!
We've already covered. No, say I'm not gonna fucking yell about it.
No, I was talking about Berserk, like.
A lot of it.
So, for people who are not aware, so this is the upcoming Transformer movie, Rise of the Beast, who is more or less directly linked to Beast Wars, the very old 3D cartoon. And for me, Beast Wars was maybe the thing I loved the most about Transformer, because at that time, I think it was like mid-90s, this was the thing that Transformer was airing on TV at the time, and there was like only almost Beast War, and it was a very good show back in the day. Very good one.
Oh yeah, it is. It is really good, because it's a continuation. Beast Wars is a continuation of the G1 continuity, because I don't know how. I'm not gonna get too far into the series.
Oh, you can.
Essentially, it's a continuation of the G1 story, but it's like either hundreds of thousands or millions of years into the future, where the Autobots have, you could say, upgraded or evolved into Maximals, and Decepticons have evolved into Predacons. So it's a way to conserve energy, because I think the in-universe excuse is that despite humans being small, they were still very capable. So they, instead of being large robots, ended up becoming like the Minicon size. And from there, they adopted organic beast modes instead of just having full-on regular vehicle modes.
There is something that you said one time that shocked me a bit. Like, so the monkey Optimus in Beast War, it's not the true Optimus?
No, he is essentially he's a I'm not gonna say descendant in a very direct genetic way, but he is someone who deeply respected and looked up to Optimus Prime. So he took the name Optimus Primal as a show of respect and reverence.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, like an homage or something.
And the same thing goes with Megatron as well, as he quite literally worships the old Megatron.
Okay. So I always thought
why they took the names.
I always thought that they were like the normal character, but they were just going animal instead of cars and boat and helicopter. But I was a kid, so I don't remember.
It was the original idea from a comic. It was the original idea from a comic. Back then, Primal was a bat and Megatron was a crocodile. But when they made the CGI cartoon, they started to deepen the lore a bit. So they ended up like figuring out they're on a planet which has a lot of natural energon, which is the reason why they need beast modes. Turns out later on in the series that planet is Earth 4 million years ago. It's literally they arrive at the tail end of when the Autobots crash into the Earth. So it's a sequel that is in the past. So the entirety of the second and third seasons is for Primal to stop Megatron's demented attempt to rewrite history. Because Megatron is trying to kill the Optimus Prime, and in doing so, ensure that the Autobots lose the war.
Yep, very thick
Megatron
plot.
Is insane.
And if I remember correctly, your favorite character is the Raptor dude, I think.
Yes, Dinobot. He is one hell of a character, and he is the one with the fucking deepest plot too, because there are in something that was originally thought to be a child series. Now, Dinobot, when he figures out the secret that Megatron always suspected and got confirmed later, he started doubting his own existence, self-governance, that he wasn't thinking of himself as an individual anymore. He was afraid that everything he did was preordained and didn't matter. So after the entire episode where he is having to go through a lot of regret of actions that he's gone through, ends up in the end finding out that nothing is set in stone, that the past is the future is his to choose. And for that, he chooses self-sacrifice. So he alone stands against the entire fucking army of Predacons, kick everybody's ass, and single-handedly saves the proto-humans, which are equally as integral to the Autobot victory as Optimus Prime.
Mm. It is a very I think that was his shtick, like honor, like for honor or something like that.
Yeah. As it's honestly the thing that made him defect from the Predacons, because he started the first few minutes of the show to be a Predacon, but since Megatron is he doesn't like honor. He says the H word. He hates honor, the very concept of it, because he's a backstabbing little bitch, a badass too, but a backstabbing little bastard. While Dinobot wants a more honorable. He's sort of like the honorable fighter of the group, and that's why he joined the Maximals, because they were far more honorable than the Predacons.
Yep,
which
and
also makes him a really fun character, because his best friend is Rat Trap, who is pretty much a New Yorker rat.
And what gives you hope, by the way, for the Rise of the Beast movie? Because at the very start with the trailer, you were like, "Oh, this will be amazing."
Yes. First of all, the trailer gives me hope. I see well-designed robots. Of course, a little bit disappointed that they made Jazz's alt mode the alt mode of Mirage, but hey, I'm okay with them not making Bumblebee the kid character for the nth time, really. But the designs, I love them. The scenes that were shown, amazing. And it didn't seem, I don't know. You get the feeling every time you see a woke moment in a trailer, like a pointless, unnecessary point of a trailer that is just, it just makes you cringe. Like in Transformers: The Last Night, where that little girl goes to Megatron and just yells for no other reason than being a stonk girl, right? In this, I didn't see any of that. And yes, you have a black guy and a black chick, but who fucking cares? I honestly don't. As long as they don't disrupt the flow of the movie. And I just saw a bunch of cool robots doing cool robot things. And then just the final clip with Battletrap and Nightwing charging against the fucking Autobots and Maximals with God knows whatever kind of abomination machines beside them in a big fucking fight. I don't know about you, but that gives me hope. I still watch those clips, even when I read that retarded article you sent me. I kept just watching those parts of the trailer, and I was like, it can't be that bad. Yes, of course, I'm just going to cling and cope with this. Like, really gonna fucking cope until it's proven otherwise? Because I want this to be good.
I showed the article in question.
Yeah, and until it is proven otherwise, I'm going to believe that the director said this. Yeah, I'm going to keep believing that the director said this shit just to get the wokies off his back.
Who voiced the gorilla, if that's a black man?
Well, you don't think that whoever this Biggie song is might be an indication that the director's not particularly interested in talent?
Of course not.
No, it's the Notorious B.I.G. Why would you even... What... No, that there are hundreds of famous black men you could have, but you went for that.
It doesn't really matter.
But it's still.
I don't care as long as the human actors aren't what matters in a Transformers movie. The robots are.
But at that point, it's still just
yes.
rumors. But yeah,
Braticus Prime.
Primal, Optimus Primal.
So, look, we've already established that toasters can be Decepticons. So, so vibrators can be Decepticons too.
Yeah. Vibrator, where have you been? Where haven't I been?
but yeah, the trailer looked nice and all, but as soon as I spotted this news, I was like, I'm not entirely surprised either. Because the thing with Transformer, at least for the movie themselves, it's just that they are good, not great, but okay, good. But they are still like, especially the last one, you can always see like a bit of woke culture in it. Like even in the Bumblebee movie, you love Trim, the girl and the girl thing, yeah, bit forced.
Yeah, but it was girl thing. It's the cringeworthy guy that she was put beside.
Yeah.
But
if Chris would be so kind as to show us the next
sorry.
quote, this is a human-focused movie.
I wanted to read the thing, but
yeah, but
right.
You can't find a single fucking Transformers movie that isn't human-focused. That is the curse of Transformers, is that it always is human focused. They always focus on the humans. You're supposed to get fucking Michael Bay's movies. You can't find a single goddamn Transformers movie or series that isn't human focused.
Okay, you've said everything's human focused 4 times. How human focused is it?
And it still pisses me off.
The movie takes place in the 90s when the album Ready or Die was released. That's why whoever this loses was the perfect record to choose. His voice and what he meant in that era and time captures much of what we're doing in the film. Fishback, who originally is from Brooklyn, her character and Ramos's character have a lot of big dreams and hit glass ceilings. Yes, that's not a buzzword from a very specific political movement. But ultimately become the heroes, saving the world discreetly, as that's how the Transformer laws are. What? You have these average folks transforming into something huge and special we didn't know existed, so the record was the right movie. Now, see, I thought Transformer laws were that they were giant fucking robots.
Yep. And this is why I agree with Trim with the I'm tired with human focus. It is the same thing with monster movie like Godzilla and something. Although now they tend to diverge a bit of that trope, a bit, not that much, but a bit. But yeah, we don't care about human in that kind of stuff. We just want monster fighting. That's it.
Yeah. But regardless, it's always gonna be wokery. But I just want less of it. That's all I actually want. Because you can't stop the woke yet.
I was pissed at the first Godzilla movie with this heavy focus on human. I don't want to see the human! I want to see the giant lizard!
Of course, but it is... In these things, Hollywood and whatever rejects are in control here, they believe that the only way you can make a good narrative is to have humans in it. You can't find a sequel movie that has a human in it.
Because they are entirely
Remember,
convinced that we cannot, sympathize or feel connection with something that isn't our. Like, I want to see a black girl in screen because I am a black girl. I can't the
people pushing these, shall we say, directorial approaches are so phenomenally stupid, self-centered, and bigoted that they can't wrap their tiny little imaginations around how a person who isn't exactly like them could act. So they think that everyone else is just as racist, bigoted, and small-minded as they are. Which they're not.
That's why they're... Yeah, but that is what makes them what they are. These strange fucking creatures.
And I jump off on the comment of Calame, like speaking about Godzilla versus Kong. This movie was okay, not the best, but it was okay. But the thing with Godzilla King of Monsters, so this is the second one with the dragon thing, King Ghidorah. The basic plot of it was like human found something to communicate with the giant monster, like every single giant monster there is, because there is not only Godzilla, there is like King Kong, there is like King Ghidorah, the dragon.
They found a. She developed a machine that could communicate. Her Ghidorah heard the noise. It was considered whenever Ghidorah and Kong and Godzilla heard the noise, it was a challenge.
Yes.
While every other monster who isn't an alpha just feel like, okay, better do what they say.
Yeah, and so that plot line with the human side of plot line, for me it was okay, because the human was not the focus, it was just like a narrative tool, so to say, because the focus was still on Godzilla and King Ghidorah, and who will be the king, who will be TV, someone, etc, etc. So for that I'm okay with, and I think with Transformer it would be okay too, like maybe like the human found the technology of Energon or something, and the Transformer goes like, I'm not sure we should allow the human to go with this piece of technology.
You can't find. No, humans never find the secret energon. They
you see what I mean with the narrative thing.
Steal it.
Yeah, but you see what I mean, like the human.
I think I see what you mean, but I honestly think that the amount of wokery and idiocy is going to be similar to the Godzilla King of Monsters, where he fights Ghidorah. It's going to be something similar. There's going to be some there, but it's going to be a lot easier to ignore.
And why is that so? Is it because Godzilla is more like coming from Japan and it's not the same kind of story?
No, I don't think it's anything to do with that. It's just the director and how ideologically driven they are.
Yeah, maybe. But I was thinking that something like that would be okay from Transformer. Human do something or are useful for something, and then the Transformer...
That is the only thing, though. They cram humans into Transformers regardless. Even the fucking IDW, until the late sessions of it, humans have to be central, because you can't have them just fuck around and do their own thing. No, you have to have the token teenagers run in, find the magical doohickey. I mean, the only fucking series that decided to be original. There are only.
You mean you've got to have the empty shell viewer insert that's running around being the hero.
Pretty much, except for two series, which are my two favorites. That is Transformers Beast Wars, where humans aren't introduced until the final seasons, and are pretty much just completely not mentioned unless a handful of episodes where they're actually a plot device.
And then you have Transformers
Animated. Then you have Transformers Animated, where it turns out, spoilers, that the human character isn't really human at all.
Yep. Yeah, I would very much. I would
learn how to write.
I would very much like to have like the very old G1, like you said, Transformer storyline. Like just focus on the Transformer, the Cybertron, and the planet bad dude Galactus thing. Like I don't remember the name.
Omnicron. Unicron.
Yeah, Unicron.
Unicron.
Yeah, sorry.
But that's what I want, and that's the original G1 movie. You even had like a handful of token human characters there too, like the Witwickies. But that's not the thing, though. You basically have. I need to go. I kind of am hoping that we get something like that in this one. Just a basic Transformers story. Yes, there's going to be humans in it, but they are put to the side when the more important parts of it come. Of course, the humans can be like, oh, they see or find out something that the Autobots totally wouldn't have seen themselves. But as long as the villains, Scourge in this case, isn't completely subjugated and wasted to the side because of some woke shit, the power of wokery, I'm okay with that. And there can be some learning between them. There's always been this thing in Transformers where the robots are learning something from the humans, and I don't mind that too much. It's just you have to do it right.
Did you
That's
like
it. I just want
the
it done in a way that doesn't grind against my back.
Did you like the last Transformer movie? I don't even know if it's the last one. The one when Optimus go to space.
The Last Night.
Yeah, night thing. Yeah. For
My
you,
opinion of the my opinion of the Bayformers movies are the same. It is 40% awesome, amazing potential, and then 60% absolute dog shit because Michael Bay can't make Transformers.
Right. So, Trim, just to be clear, are you saying that, to clarify, you say it's 40% awesome, 60% dog crap? Is that 60% that all the times there are humans on screen?
More or less, yes.
Humans on screen, and whenever Michael Bay gets his grubby fucking hands on something. Like, here's an example. Take Dark of the Moon. It could have been a really fucking good movie, but in the end, you have this moment between Prime and Megatron after Sentinel has been defeated, right? And Megatron honestly extends a hand in peace. For the first time in millions of years. Megatron, the warmonger, after having been put under the heel of Sentinel Prime, suddenly is like, I'm tired of this. I am wounded. Look at me. I am a shell of what I was. Now Cybertron is here. I can go back. So they decided in the original script, as well in the novel and comic, Optimus Prime accepts the offer of Megatron. Megatron takes his remaining Decepticons, leaves for Cybertron. Optimus Prime declares Earth the planet of the Autobots as they get continuous asylum there. And it turns out there becomes a cooperation, a alliance between Autobot and Decepticon. Decepticons get all of Cybertron. The Autobots gets all of Earth. And it's just, that would be the end of the series.
Would be a very nice thing.
You instead have to have, it would have been amazing. It's like, instead you just have to force this battle of cripples for Optimus fucking Prime to just have a cool action hero fucking quote. Jesus.
Yeah, I always
Christ, I hated that.
I always disliked this part of the movie because the third one was not the worst for me, but you even in the final cut of the movie you can sense that the fight between Optimus and Megatron at the end was a bit forced. Like, but there was opportunity there.
Yeah, there was opportunity to have peace.
Because you even
that has been raging for centuries, for millennia to end.
You could even go something like, oh yeah, a Sentinel and the very old Prime or the old leader betrayed us all, either Decepticon or Autobot. Let's just have peace for now, blah blah blah.
Seriously, that was the motivation, the original motivation, that Sentinel Prime had deposed Megatron, as well as the entire war. His entire presence on Earth had been one giant uphill battle. Earth had broken Megatron to the point where he accepted a truce.
Yep. Could have been.
No, you can't have that because, first of all, Michael Bay is a fucking idiot. He makes good popcorn movies, but he can't make a fucking Transformers movie or anything to save his fucking life. But then you have every other fucking guy making a movie. It's like, oh, I can make awesome Transformers thing. But then either it is the director, or as it usually is nowadays, Hasbro themselves just coming in and just saying, you have to add this. Because take Travis Knight, who made Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Travis originally intended to have a 10-minute section of the movie just to be the war on Cybertron, where Megatron in a beautiful redeck would be standing on Cybertron, just fucking going like Sauron in fucking Lord of the Rings Fellowship, just swinging his mace around, killing Autobots left and right.
This is something
But no, we couldn't have that.
This is something that I think Transformer desperately needs. Is a movie like the game Cybertron thing. I don't remember the name, but
Yes.
I'm sure you know
The
which one.
War and Fall of Cybertron.
Yeah,
The War and Fall of Cybertron.
These games are, to me, peak Transformer entertainment. They are just true Transformers. If you like Transformer, you like robot, you like the IP, play the game. It's better than everything you could have. The movie, the TV show, everything.
You can't find them in any normal place nowadays because Activision lost the license, and that means they had to pull the existence of the games from every corner of the internet. But you can find War and Fall of Cybertron on Amazon still, I think. So if you want to experience a good Transformers game, go to Amazon and buy the fucking War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron.
They are very good, very
worth
good.
it.
Yeah.
And it ain't perfect, but it's the best we'll get.
To switch on for Transformer and Willow, because more than an hour that we're going in that direction. I wanted to speak. No worries. I wanted to speak a bit about something, as I said, that I'm doing right now, which is Cyberpunk universe. And again, the game is better than I expected it to be. Yeah, go ahead. So the thing. A bit of story time. I didn't care much for Cyberpunk movie, the game, sorry. And I heard that, as everyone, just like you, everyone, the Edgerunner TV show. So, I heard that the TV show was very good. I was like, I don't know. I don't trust, don't trust this thing. And when I had a bit of time to
it's already on Netflix. That's a minus in itself.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And I watched it. And was like, this is great. I need more of it. So then I played the game, and yeah, the game is not that bad. I understand that it's not the best, and we should have we should have had better game because there is so much potential in Cyberpunk game. But yeah, it's still nice, and I wanted to speak about Edgerunners specifically because if I'm correct, Edgerunner the TV show boosted so much the sales of the concurrent play of Cyberpunk tremendously. Like it carries the license on its shoulders.
Yes, if I remember correctly, didn't it boost the sales to like 3.5 million players?
I don't know, but I've seen numbers and I'm a bit lazy to find them now. But yeah, it's like when Edgerunner aired, like 1 week after, the number of players on the video game skyrocketed.
Yeah, and many of them was just to get some smackdown on Adam Smasher.
Yes, yeah. And
one thing that's funny was all the revenge memes on Twitter.
Yep. And there is many stuff you can find in the game directly linked to the TV show, like weapons, like clothes, like location, like yeah, even some car, I think, car and motorcycle. So
you can find the jacket as well.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Here's a fun thing is that you can find what's her name again? You can find Rebecca's shotgun.
Yeah.
Laying in one of the bushes beside where she died.
Spoiler!
What? No, you just have to go and find it. Carnage.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't say that that Rebecca died.
Oh, come on, everybody knows at this point.
I don't know.
It's a fucking it's a fucking trigger anime. The day they don't have a fucking bittersweet or soul-crushing ending is the day I become King of England.
I don't know much about Trigger Studio past, but yeah, it's very sad, and in the same time, it's just logical to have that kind of conclusion.
I mean, it's natural to Night City itself. It's a place where nobody wins. Even the people who win never really win forever because everybody has someone above them.
Yep. Yep, and I see there's a quote in the game. I think like in such circumstances, the city always win.
The city where everybody loses.
Yep.
I don't quite remember. I stopped playing Cyberpunk after a while, so I'm a bit out of that loop.
You didn't finish the story?
I haven't.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about that because seriously, like, and fuck, why I picked this article? There's only one picture, not that interesting text. But yeah, the thing with Edgerunner, I think it's that the show itself, it's just good enough itself. Like there is no need for else, so to say. Even a second season will be very, very appreciated. But the fact that the TV show is a direct adaptation of like the video game itself, it's weird because the video game feed on the show and the show feed on the game. It's very weird. Like there is a link between them that's very special, and if you didn't watch it, you should watch it. Seriously, this is a very, very good piece of entertainment. Even if you don't like the cyberpunk genre or if you are not interested in the game, just watch it. It's damn good. It's damn good. The animation is great. The story is great. The characters are just great. Yeah, the music also. The music are very much like the music of the show, which is rarer and rarer by the day to have nice music in a piece of entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
It's a bit sad. It's a bit fucking sad, though.
Nice music requires spending money, hiring talented people. Why would you ever do that?
Yes.
Unless,
of course, you're Japan.
Why would you not use your $1 billion on hookers and blow and then get the cheapest idiot you can find to do everything for your show?
Yeah, and for the people who watch the show, if you hear just a few seconds of the song, I really want to stay at your house tonight or something like that. This music in particular, oh, the gut punch, oh.
I mean, it is just fucking sad, but it's still just it's a typical trigger. It's a typical studio trigger works. It's just, it gives you that feeling whenever you watch it that yes, it is not the perfect ending, but it's just life.
Yeah, and by the way, about Studio Trigger, yep, I found the article. So I'm sure you're aware of this, my dear Trim, but they stick to their guns for Rebecca character because the
yep.
I think that's yeah, CDPRs. No, who asks for the change? I don't. Is it CDPR or like a stupid corporate idiot?
It was kind of a bit of both because they had this group inside of CDPR that said no.
It's a certain group of people who have certain unacceptable attitudes towards certain groups of people who see anything that looks like it could be a human under 18 and go, oh yeah, that's a child, I like that. And then they go complaining that the people are showing them the thing that they... Because I'm not sure if I explained that well.
Yeah.
But the people who... generally,
projection.
Yeah, it's projection. Especially if you go on Twitter and you look into the kinds of people who hate... actually, can you scroll up to that title again, please,
yeah.
Chris?
Yeah.
I just want to make... Yes. So, because Chris did show us this, I can use some words here. So, it says the lolly must stay. Right. There are people on the internet, especially Twitter, that really, really, really hate lollies.
Yes.
LOLI. And their primary argument is, oh, it looks like a child. And any sane person immediately thinks, you look at that and think of a child, you freak.
Well, the first time I saw Rebecca, and it was, I think it was an Arch video, we explained the controversy with Rebecca. I was like, Yes, but she's holding two guns with big hands. I think she's a crazy person.
Yes, but also the thing about her is she isn't a kid. Rebecca is a short woman. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Or a short young woman, because the main character is like what? David is like 17.
Yeah.
There is another anime woman we can talk about that keeps things much more in the podcast friendly area. I don't know if you heard about the controversy over Uzaki-chan, Chris. Uzaki, which features it's a Japanese, obviously, anime featuring.
Oh yeah. That's the girl I see everywhere.
The busty short stack in college, university, as in literally 20, and they're screaming, "It's a child." No, it's not a child. You disgusting pervert. Stop looking at kids that way. Yeah, and secondly,
I'm pretty sure though
she's Japanese. Like, not only do women like that just exist generally in the world, short women, big tits, it's all over the place in Japan. Like we gave those fuckers hormones in the food, and the tits just took off, but the height stayed the same. Japanese women are really, really short. So you take any Japanese woman and then you stick large breasts on them, they're going to look like that. And then, of course, when that controversy came out, a bunch of Japanese women, in particular, certain cosplayers, asked me or Trim for details later, because that's not appropriate on here, but came out
culture,
and was going,
but it's beautiful.
Yes, it's culture, but talk to us later. So, but there were women, really famous women, who look exactly like that, coming out going, "Are you stupid? That's literally my body type."
Yep, and the thing is also with Rebecca character is this is not explained in the TV show, but if I'm not mistaken, there is like lore explanation, like background information about why Rebecca is that way, because Cyberpunk lore is very deep. Like, there is clan, there is story, there is so many information you can have. And apparently, it's almost like Rebecca wanted to look like that. I think it's like she's from the Mox clan or related to the Mox clan or something. So there is many things going on with that.
Like, one of the things,
I've gone too deep in that
with Rebecca's character design is, now I haven't watched the anime, but
you should.
So I can, but because I haven't, I can make sort of guesses that could easily be wrong by 5 minutes watching. But that doesn't look like a human. That looks like a goddamn android.
Yes.
Is she actually an android?
No, she's a very...
When a certain scene comes, you'll see that she has a lot of cybernetic implants.
Yeah, she's very...
She's like a cyborg rather than a straight android.
Almost, yeah.
There's clearly some funky, futuristic medical bullshit going on there. And maybe if you're going to pump someone full of cybernetics, maybe you need to pump them through drugs that may do certain things like, I don't know, screw with growing up. That's the picture that fucks them up.
Yeah, but if you watch like that, so there is something in her eyes, there is something in her skin, there is something like she is heavily augmented, even at that stage, which is one of the lowest point of augmentation that she had.
Exactly. But yeah, because
just look at the cybernetic implants. A lot of her implants are internal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like this scene in particular is what really gets a lot of them riled up, because it's an overhead view from a tall man's side. Like, she's short for an Asian and he's tall for a white dude.
Yeah.
I think he's supposed to be Mexican or have Latino.
Yeah, Latino. David is Latino, and this is another picture when you could look a bit more about her character, like the tattoo, the design, the cybernetic, the everything. And by the way, she has a strong reference to both Shadowrunner, which is the logo here. This is the tattoo that is mostly not 100% sure, but mostly related to the Mox clan. And this is another tattoo she had on her legs, which read something like Philip K. Dick, you know, Blade Runner and everything.
That's actually pretty cool. But like the face here is obviously differently designed, but this whole argument is exactly the same stupidity that the Australian government came out with when they made it illegal for women with A-cup breasts or smaller to appear in certain kinds of media. Because reasons. Well, we know what the reason is. It's because the politician the politician looks at a woman with A-cup breasts or smaller and goes, maybe I should go back to school.
Yeah, and this there is another picture when you can see that at one point in the show, she implanted very giant hand for her. So yeah, she goes heavy on cybernetic, and she's always like screaming like pum 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 with the gun.
Come on! And she just fucking shoots people.
She's very. She likes gun. Let's just say it that way.
She's a fucking psycho, is what she is, and she's the least psychopathic of the gang.
Yes. So yeah, go
total blackout paintings. Like what? What about representation? Sounds like body shaming to me. Okay, let's talk. If Chris will allow me to go on another rant.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's talk about very briefly the attractiveness of females as portrayed in media over the last 70 years.
Yep.
So we've got phenomenally beautiful women of assorted body types like Keira Knightley. Like actually, Keira Knightley is a perfect example for people complaining about this topic in particular. They'd banned Keira Knightley from appearing on TV because Keira frigging Knightley sure doesn't look like she'd win any prizes for the excessively encumbered. But she's still a gorgeous one, and you can see in media over the last however long, until sometime in the last decade or so, movie directors and producers are seeing they're going, right, movies are a highly visual form of entertainment. So how do we get more people to come and look at our movie? I know, let's put attractive people in it. Like whatever character we're going to design, doing whatever thing, let's find an attractive person to do that, because people being not insane, you usually prefer to look at attractive people over unattractive people, regardless of what said person is doing. Unfortunately, over the last 10 years, being attractive has somehow become a problem.
Yeah, it's exactly like the scene in the 300 movie. Like being beautiful today is as much as a blessing as a curse. If you know what I mean, you I'm sure you know which scene I'm referring to. This is at the start of the movie when Leonidas had to consult like the oracles or something, and she have to offer. Let me again. He has to offer like a pretty girl from his clan or his village or something to have the blessing of the oracle, and the oracle are just perverted bastard.
Yep, corrupt, perverted bastards too.
Also, yes. But yeah, attractiveness today is not always easy.
Yeah. But that is because the woke people.
Yeah, the woke
I can say it after you first, Basic.
But the woke peoples, they're basically just being jealous. They're basically going, I'm media. A lot of them are going, I'm not a perfect 10. Therefore, I can't let anyone see what a perfect 10 looks like, because then they'll know that I'm not one. So they can't let a 10 out of 10 woman be in a movie, because a man might see that 10 out of 10 woman and then look at her and go, oh, she's a 5 out of 10. Also, she's a miserable cunt. I can do better.
Yep.
Which does see it's all about hiding. It's literally women doing crabs in a bucket. Oh, this one might has a chance of escaping by using their natural advantages I'm going to drag them back down here with the rest of us. So we may all die, but at least we'll die to get. At least no one will succeed if it's not me.
Yeah. Just them being selfish cunts.
Yeah. Well, that seems to be the nicest interpretation of what they're doing. They're sitting there coming from some self-loathing, I'm mediocre at best, so I can't let people see better options. Which is what it seems to be to me, which is hiding the fact that better exists. Because what no man is going to put up with a 5 out of 10 that is sitting there whining, whinging, refusing to get a job, refusing to be a homemaker, demanding the man do this, this, and this, and this, while having none of the responsibilities that's normally associated with being a woman or even a functional member of a household. And then a man goes, if I'm going to put up with this crap, I could at least have one that looks better. Like I know that all of us who are men here, we've all seen women who are absolutely miserable personality and behavior-wise and still gone, oh, God, she's gorgeous.
Yep.
I mean, that's just a modern woman.
Yeah, that's the rule today. Like, oh, she's gorgeous, but I'm sure she's also crazy. So, nope.
Like, it's definitely much more of an issue now, but even back, like, in the 90s, if you were given your choice between a crazy 5 out of 10 or a crazy 10 out of 10, you're going to choose the crazy 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're going, I'm a crazy 5 out of 5, and that woman over there is a crazy 10 out of 10. So I'm going to make up something about how the male gaze and male sexuality is ruining movies, so she can't get a job, and now we're all back on the same level playing field. Like,
oh, by the way, this isn't something I remember from the good old days. Wow, I'm old. The good old days of Gamergate. You remember they started talking about dog, and started doing dog whistling, cat calling, all that kind of stuff because they hated it. It's womanizing. It's evil. Literally, fucking a few months later,
complaining, oh, people aren't wolf whistling me anymore. Well,
exactly. No cat calling. I no longer get
one at a time, people. One at a time.
Oh, we're trying to say the same thing. We're saying the same thing and trying to outdo the other here.
Let's not go too deep into the actual politics of that situation. Because
yes, please. You are treading a thin line. No.
But there is a way we can talk about this. A few years ago, there was a journalist who complained about catcalling and wolf whistling. Not a year later, she wrote another article going, no one's catcalling and wolf whistling me anymore, and this is also sexism. No, it's the consequences of your own actions. Shut up. You got what you wanted.
Yep.
This is you've got your cake, and you are going to eat it if we have to force feed it to you. Though, to be fair, you've already looked like you've had too much cake.
Yeah. It's just ugly.
To finish up the topic, I take a bit of control here. This is my stream. Damn it!
That's not how this works.
But to conclude the thing about Rebecca, yeah, and the lowly character, and I don't care. If it's just like a character with just like short and look like a child, but is not a child because of different reasons, like you say, Japanese morphology, or like he's in cybernetics, or I don't care. And if you don't put in situation with sex thing or sexy thing or flirt, or I don't care, just leave the character alone. I mean that's the problem of the writer and the creator of the thing. Not is. Why complain? I don't understand. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any kind of sense.
Because they want to complain, and also I'm 99% sure that the people who react the strongest of this aren't just doing it out of some kind of moral thing. They're doing it out of disappointment.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, definitely. And if I'm not mistaken, Rebecca is maybe the #1 favorite character of the show. I think.
She's my favorite.
Yeah, for me too.
After Adam Smasher.
No.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the fucking thing with this anime. it made me actually afraid of Adam Smasher again.
Yeah,
Like,
Prime
wow, this is what he could be.
Prime Lab is true. If a P person came even close to her, Rebecca, he would have 3 new orifices to grab from, chums. Maybe even more than just 3. Because I tell you,
I mean, when you see the heads to the people she considers enemies, there wouldn't be anything left of them.
yeah, and even so, like when there's something happening to her brother, you could see that she's not happy at all. And yeah, this is I don't remember who said that. Yeah, it's Prime Lab also. Rebecca is a gremlin. Yeah, it's the archetype gremlin character, like short person, crazy, a bit cute, but yeah, definitely crazy. Foul mouth also.
Like Murphy, like Murphy from Dresden Files. Short but fierce.
Yeah. So for the next topic, because we are all running out of time, I wanted to talk about something also related to Keanu Reeves, because Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk. Do you guys like John Wick?
Yes.
To a certain extent.
Yes, me too. I saw the first movie, and the second one came out in the theater like 3 or 4 months after that. I was like, yes, I want to see that in theater. And then John Wick is maybe the only franchise, modern franchise, like recent franchise, that is actually good. And there is something to take to analyze and reflect upon with that information, because John Wick is basically very simple revenge plot movie action flick. This is not that complex, to be honest. But for some reason, this franchise in particular is crushing it. Because maybe like 10 years earlier, we had like the Expendable movie, like an old action hero movie. It did good. It was okay, and I was fond of it, especially the second one, and not because Jean-Claude Van Damme was in it, but just I think the second one was a bit darker than the rest of them. And yeah, it's almost like people want to have nice action movie. Could you believe that?
Really? What?
Yep.
What? Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. It's like saying a Transformers fan just wants a Transformers movie.
Yes, almost like that, yeah. It's and by the way, I think that also which make the strength of the franchise is, you can say a lot of things about Ken Reeves, but in that role, John Wick role is just perfect. I couldn't picture anyone else doing the John Wick role, the John Wick character justice. He has everything.
Pretty much Keanu Reeves is John Wick to me now.
Yeah.
Before he was John Wick, he was let's see, another one? Oh yeah, another Keanu Reeves role, like was Neo. But instead of Neo now, he's just John Wick.
One of the reasons that Keanu Reeves does such a good job. No, I nearly said John Wick does such a good job as John Wick. Is because he actually does that shit in real life. Unlike certain movie producers who shot 2 people who will otherwise remain nameless, Keanu Reeves actually enjoys firearms and competes competitively in shooting. So he looks damn good doing shit because he knows what he's fucking doing.
Yeah, it's very passionate about his role. Every single role he does, but in John Wick, yeah, I think he put on the extra miles and training and exercising and going to the gym and the shooting range.
I think he was part of the driving forces for the movie itself, because he really involved himself into it. I think he was just tired of the same shit, so he wanted to just get in real juicy stuff, and by that it's like a proper fucking action romp.
I don't know, because the first John Wick movie was not they didn't plan at all that the success will be that huge for the first John Wick movie. And at that time, I think it was like 20 13, 15, something like that, around those years, John Wick made a bunch of movies that was not a flop, but they didn't have much success. For example, one I quite like, to be honest, was Man of Tai Chi. And in that movie, John Wick, Keanu Reeves is the bad guy. And it's a very nice movie if you like martial arts. But yeah, I don't know if it was the driving factor for John Wick. I don't know. But yeah, the thing is, John Wick today is the only modern franchise I look up, and I think it's worthwhile.
Yeah,
they do all kind of crazy shit in John Wick movie, like the how can I say that? The pursuit, I think is the correct word. When he's on a horse and he's killing everyone with a sword and something, or on motorbike. I don't remember which scene was that, but you cannot see that in any other movie. Or even
guys, I need to mention one thing. The guys who made Days Gone.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna send you. The developer has said 3 reasons to why Days Gone didn't really do well, and the last one is one that I actually believe because I've seen the review. Sorry, you just...
Yeah, no. Yeah. Like another surprise Pikachu face. A guy was from a biker gang, and he has a behavior and attitude of a biker. Shock.
But that's not the problem. He's white.
Yeah, also.
He's also a combat veteran, and there's nothing they hate more than people who have actually done something.
But I know that Bezek, you are like a gun enthusiast, and can you tell us a bit more about how much Keanu Reeves put on the effort on doing nice things with gun and correctly also?
Well, I'll do my best to do him justice because he's fantastic at it. So, there are competitions in America, sometimes called 3-gun, but it depends. That can also mean the Wild West style. But you have a timer, and you have to shoot a certain amount of rounds from 3 different types of firearm: a standard semi-automatic pistol, a semi-automatic rifle, and a shotgun. And Keanu Reeves absolutely John Wick. Yeah, look, he's so perfect that he just is John Wick. But yeah, he can do it really well. Like, so you can actually go and watch him because people have filmed it and gone, "Holy crap, this guy's amazing!"
Yeah, I was looking for that specifically because I've seen it too.
He can fire in real life with real guns, with real recoil from the gunpowder in the rounds. He can fire really, really quickly and hit the damn targets every time.
Let's watch it together. This is the one?
Yep, that's the one, Terran Tactical. So there we have... I can't even describe that without going into Sultan's territory, so I'll leave that alone.
Yeah. So this is an assault rifle, I think.
Yes, that's a scary military. That's a military style, fully semi-automatic ghost gun with 100-round extended clipazine.
Yeah, made to kill children, by the way. Designed just to do that.
Don't push it too far, please.
No, don't push it too far. But it's your standard M16/AR looking rifle.
Okay.
And it's scary because it's plastic and
yeah. Don't go too far in the gun debate, but yeah, I don't care to show a gun on my stream. And then you say that he switched weapon and goes for like a pistol.
Yep, pistol. And you can, and because it's freshly painted targets, you can actually see. And look at the speed of him. This is not sped up. He's shooting. Keanu Reeves is shooting at John Wick speeds.
Yeah, he also, I remember this bit, he's doing, this one in particular. And apparently only the real pro can do that. He reload the shotgun with a special technique to go with multiple shell in one go.
Oh, yeah. The old shotgun speed loaders there.
Can I go slower? Yeah, 0.5. So here, the magazine, well, not magazine, but you know what I mean, is empty, and he's doing like a special motion when he go like 2 or 3 shell at once. And this apparently, from what I heard,
is what it is.
Is very difficult to do.
It takes a lot of practice. But yeah, what he's pulling off there is the result of hundreds of hours of practice.
So what you mean is, oh my god, he trained for the role.
Yes.
No.
He's doing it right and left-handed. Like, all they need to do to make John Wick look superhuman is speed this up by fractions of seconds.
That's what practice gives you, kids.
Yeah. Sometimes effort is worthwhile. Believe me. and to you, Bezek, so we saw like the real training, and it how'd say that? It translates right in the movie itself also, because you watch the movie, I guess.
Yep. Like, yeah, basically add some special effects and just speed everything up just a smidgen. And, it's amazing. And, of course...
That or just add a pencil.
And, of course, because the director and producer weren't afraid of showing violent men doing violent men things. Oh, it's just a glorious gore fest.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's not really good. It's actually not that gory. But
no, not much.
Violence and there's killing, and it's great. Like, it is a fantastic movie to sit down with a drink and some popcorn. The plot is like, look, the whole plot of the movie could have been 2 freaking minutes, and it's irrelevant. Like, specifically John Wick 1. The plot is, who cares? Who cares about the fucking plot? It's just, it's a great movie. We're having a brilliant time. We are seeing a superhuman killer, almost supernatural killer, going mad, and it's a revenge story, so we can feel good about it.
The story itself, to be honest, many people say, "Oh, it's simple, it's simple." Yes, it is. It's just revenge and a bit of a mafia storyline or something like that. But if it
doesn't have to be advanced. It can be simple.
But if you dig a bit, you could see that the story is way more complex than you might think, because there is like power structure that go at each other, like the hobos, the hotel who try to be independent, the table, the Moroccan king in the desert. There is multiple layers to the story. It's not only a revenge story. At the heart, it is, but it go way more outside of that box. Sorry.
What it does is add something that is the thing about John Wick. The thing that many people think is the most unrealistic is the most realistic. The separation between the criminal underworld and our world, the civilian normal world, and because the criminal underworld is real. And it is very much like how it is in the movie.
Yeah, and
that's the thing that surprised me.
For what you say, you see why many people die over a dog. I don't know if you said that seriously or just for the meme, but it's not that actually. There is much more to that than just he killed the dog and took his car. It's the joke, and it's true, by the way. But there is more than that. The dog symbolize the grief of.
The dog symbolizes his woman and that he lost, and
in the past life also.
The dog represented his new life.
Yeah.
So they killed
his fresh found innocence.
They hurt the dog, which means that everything he does to these people is justified, and we can feel good about him murdering 1,000 people. That's all you need to know. Revenge story. Bad guys get shot in the face.
Yeah, especially since even if the Russian of the first movie, the big boss Russian, is not a bad guy per se, because he say, I have to defend my son, and I can't afford to look bad with John Wick, blah blah blah. So he tried to do his job basically, but he does bad guy thing. Let's say that. Like, the first thing he does is try to contact John Wick and say, please don't kill my son. Don't go on the revenge path. And John Wick say, fuck you. And he said, okay, time to go to work and send the assassin, and I don't know. And
yeah, but he also
didn't work.
He also did understand that his son deserved everything that was coming to him.
Yeah, he knew.
Oh my God, it's actually almost a really masculine thing where it's like, you deserve everything that's coming to you, but as your father, it's my duty to protect you from this, even your own stupidity.
Yeah, especially with the scene when he explain who John Wick is, he just smacked the bitch out of him. Like, did you realize what you just done, motherfucker?
Oh, you just declared war.
You have pissed in the devil's coffee.
Yeah, you killed us all, basically.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I kind of like the antagonist. Is not a villain. The antagonist of the first movie, because
the Russian.
The way he accepted his fate, even at the end when he had his last confrontation with John Wick, the way he just went out, he didn't puss out, he didn't cry, he didn't bitch. Yeah. Unlike his son was like, is this a fucking dog? He just like. I love the way I tried. I fucking tried. Whatever. Good night.
I just love the way the son died when he said, it was just a fucking bam! Not even a word. Just bullet in the head. Job done. Go fuck yourself. Just lovely. Oh, man.
And you had to be stupid enough to shoot the fucking dog. Jesus Christ.
By the way, the Russian in the beginning of the second movie also was very good. Like, he go with the meme, we took John Wick car, he killed a guy with pencil, who the fuck do that, etc. And when John Wick came to him, he's just like, do we want to drink? with the quote like, "Mir." Do you people know peace, or does someone like you, John, can know peace or something like that? And he just drinks his peace and leaves. And the scene was great because it was the continuation of the bit that was left in the first movie storyline. I just love John Wick, man. I just love it.
It is.
Yeah. But the best part is how the villain of the second one believed that the system would protect him. And he was so confident that he didn't see the bullet coming in the end.
I just wanted to spit at the screen when he appears and say, "Oh, duck fat, this is the secret. You know that we can eat forever, entire different meal every single day in the hotel." Motherfucker. He knew it was, as you say, he just, how to say that, taunted John Wick and say, you want to kill me? Here, you can't, and I will eat every single day delicious meal.
Yeah, but that's the part. Hadn't he done that, John Wick would have shot him at that point, because John Wick was out to kill him, but he wouldn't have taken him out there. He wouldn't have taken him out there.
I don't know, because John Wick was pretty determined to just erase the motherfucker. Because the thing with that guy, the Italian, is he abused the system of the medallion, you know, the favor medallion. Yeah. I understand the position that, I have a medallion, you owe me something, you have to do something. But John said, please, not that. Whatever you want, but not that. And he was just, okay, fuck you, grenade launcher, pum, pum, pum. Oh, man. He just asked for it. He just asked for it. And
it's like the professionality of it all.
I wanted to ask you a thing, Bezek, on John Wick again. I take this particular scene. So it's in the second movie, yes. When he does something with a pistol, and I wanted to know if it was like a very difficult trick or not. You ready?
Let's have a look.
This thing. Is it something like complicated, or it's just for the show, or?
That's just
all that grip.
That's just a flair for the show. So what he's doing there is, so with right where you've got it paused at the moment.
Yeah.
Right now, he is pulling back the hammer and releasing it, which allows a bullet to, or the bullet to ascend from the magazine into the firing chamber. That gun is now live and ready to go.
Okay.
What he now does next is he flips it around.
Yeah, this.
And he looks in the chamber to see if it's loaded. He knows it's loaded. He put a magazine in it and worked the action. Like, you can double check. You can pull the magazine back slightly. And a sane person would do that with their other hand to double check that that there is a round in the magazine. But it's just a look pretty trick for the movie. But the change of grips, like that's some pretty cool real world application of sleight of hand.
Okay.
Like it's cool but completely pointless.
Okay, yeah. But it's kind of neat because I never saw anyone do that in every single piece of entertainment with a gun in it. I was like, what the fuck is that? It's cool and all, but I want to know what's happening.
Yeah. But yeah, he's literally just checking to see if the bullet he just put in the chamber is in the chamber.
Well, it make... I'm not gun expert, but it make a bit of sense in the scene and the movie because he had just the gun that Morpheus gave him,
yeah.
7 or 6 rounds, I don't remember, and he has no weapon anymore. This is his only weapon to defend himself.
It wouldn't make some sense to check, but we've already watched him with his left hand pull the slide back and release it so that it loads. His hand's already there. It would have actually been faster to just grab it again and check. But yeah, no, this is just a cool flourish for the movie.
Yeah, well,
it is very cool, but it is a flourish. It's rather pointless.
Yeah, still a cool point in my opinion.
Eye candy, basically, and I love it.
Please, more unnecessary thing that look cool, please.
Yeah, as points out,
but that is entertainment.
It is more necessary with fan guns. Like where that particular move would have made more sense is if he was picking up somebody else's gun with just his right hand because he's doing something else with his left. He just grabs it, flicks it around, checks it, flicks it back into a firing grip, and then goes. That would have at least been relevant. But again, he already had his left hand there. He was playing with the slide. He could have just checked with his left hand again. But no, it's a very cool flourish, but it's just a cool flourish.
This isn't John Wick, though. This is just Keanu flexing.
Yes, it's just Keanu flexing. It's just Keanu being a chad all over the place. But yeah, like UCYOB the one says, it would make more sense for him to have done that if he just picked up fresh gun. Yeah, absolutely. But it is a really cool trick.
There is another scene that would be nice for you to analyze a bit. Checking this. 1 second. Because I don't know if you watched the movie Equilibrium with Christian Bale.
I don't think I have seen it, but if I did, it would have been so long ago that it's...
Yeah, it's a very old movie. Can I see the scene, please? Fuck. John Wick. Because in the movie Equilibrium, there is something called gun fu. It's part of a meme, but it's also like a way to fight with hands and weapon. And in the scene, so this is the first movie when the mansion is attacked, and he's fighting the guy with his gun, like a pistol, and his body also, like he doing like a martial art thing and yada yada. And I was wondering, is this movie better, like, correct? more just in the interpretation of doing like martial art and gunfighting, because in Equilibrium there was like gun kata, thank you. There was much like fighting kung fu and things like that.
Now that we've started mentioning the gun fu, the gun kata stuff, that's all bullshit.
Okay.
But it isn't that. This is a highly trained martial artist doing essentially weapon retention. So here's the problem with carrying a gun. That means that any fight you get into is a gunfight. It also imposes a problem. You are no longer allowed to lose a fist fight if you have a gun, because that gun can then be used against you or other innocents. See why? How do I phrase this in a? That is a reason it is sometimes seen in the real world where it is justified for a police officer to shoot an unarmed assailant. If that unarmed assailant is winning the fist fight and the police officer believes that they are in danger of losing consciousness, in that case, they're justified to shoot them, because if they don't, the bad guy now has a gun. So, yeah, what he's doing is...
Gun MMA.
It's cool as hell. And yeah, he is trying to keep his grip on the gun so he can reorientate the gun to use it against him, because semi-automatics are weird. Like, you can run into problems with semi-automatics, like, something...
Go ahead, finish.
Like, something that this is really good at avoiding is anyone who actually knows how to use a gun is never going to put a semi-automatic up against somebody to fire it. So semi-automatics having the slide on top, if you push the gun into something soft, like, say, the gut of a bad guy, that can actually move the slide back just a fraction of a millimeter, which is enough to impede the function of the firearm, and that gun will not fire until you pull the slide back and release it and reset it. So you need to keep your gun from making contact with them, which is why you will quite often see in some of the movies where they're doing some gun stuff, like they'll push them away in like the high chest with one hand and then fire from the hip with the other, because you want to make sure that gun works when you need it to.
Yeah, just to finish the thing, so this is the mention scene, and in this, I saw that it was good. I'm doing the slow-mo because I don't want YouTube to strike my channel also. But so you see, he has a gun, he uses it, and there is, as you said, someone who make contact with him, and he tried to keep the grip and the distance between him and the enemy. You see there?
Yep. So you can see that guy's within arm's reach, and you can actually see that he drops the right hand out of his way, tries to pull the guy around. Yeah. And now they are in a really bad position. And at that point that we just saw, where you paused it for a second, is actually where I would have shot him if I was John Wick. Because at that point, the guy actually had John Wick by his wrist, and the gun actually passed across the bad
this moment?
Just mentioned before that.
Let me one pause.
There.
Yeah, because
it's actually pointed dead center at the bad guy's chest, and the bad guy has his hand on John Wick's wrist. There is nothing stopping John Wick from shooting him there, except though, if I remember, he was trying to take down 172 guys in his house with a pistol.
I think it was 12 or 15 or something like that. And
yeah, but enough that you don't want to be wasting ammo.
And in this scene, another guy came and boom.
Yep, he shoots him. Then he loses his gun. But this is good, because he actually grabs the guy by the arm. The throw, not necessarily necessary, but getting hold of that arm was good. Then he threw him, and there are actually legitimate martial arts techniques where you grab hold of somebody by the wrist and hand, because that's holding the weapon. You throw them and then keep whatever was in their hand, which can apply to a knife or a gun. And it is always better if you have the weapon rather than your enemy. Oh,
you don't say.
So close. You can actually see in that scene just there, John Wick working really well with the.
Yeah.
You can actually see how the professional stuntman has actually rotated his elbow himself so that he can go with John Wick. Because in the real world, John Wick wouldn't be bending over like that. He'd just slammed the elbow down on his shoulder. And yeah, it's a lot harder to fight when someone snapped your elbow backwards.
No, you don't say.
Can I just say something here?
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Chris, for actually just making Besik happy for once. Talking about something he's into, and he's not just making rabid, angry Australian noises. It's just genuinely a happy little Australian. And that is just a nice experience.
Look at Ken Reeves. He killed people. That's nice. And he kills them nicely, correctly.
Look, it's not guns that kill people. It's movie producers that kill people with guns.
And I pulled out the scene of Equilibrium to compare, because you saw that yeah, more or less they correct and in the movement and martial art and all. Yeah, not this scene, because this scene is just for movie orgasm. Yeah, this. So this is in the Equilibrium movie when you see like a school when they teach the gun kata technique. Again, sorry, I'm not able to show the whole thing and not posing.
Yeah, that's of course. Firstly, I will say, as someone who's done martial arts, there is nothing more annoying than katas. They're just awful. They are boring and of some but limited use, and it's just awful.
And so in this universe, the gun technique is the way they fight. You see, there is like study and graph and something and blah blah blah. And the idea was always cool, but there was so many people say this is bullshit. And I was wondering if in John Wick they did better. You know, it was a bit more believable, and you could
actually did, because John Wick. There are some scenes in John Wick that exemplify that specifically, and.
Yeah, that's why I picked the scene in the mansion, because for me it was one of the best.
Yeah, like one thing that people don't understand about gunfights is that the best way to win one is for you to get into it before your opponent knows you're there.
Yeah.
Which is why pistols are a backup weapon. You use your pistol to get to your real gun.
Is there more to this scene? Yeah, so they see, it works every time. So yeah, okay. And so yeah, this is the scene. So they train to have the technique, or this is my gun, and this is the way I move, the way I position myself, and all. And this is like a school and all. And I got the critique at the time, because saying that this wasn't believable, but still I was something like, yeah, but it's still cool. I want to believe it.
Allows you to suspend your disbelief.
Yeah, the problem is they've gone too far beyond the rule of cool. Like, the rule of cool can let you get away with a lot of things, like John Wick checking the magazine that he just loaded with the fancy flip in his hand. The rule of cool lets you go, yeah, wait. Let's go with it.
Mr. Bier says something amazing. I want to ask you this, Besik. I would like to have the same analysis for the movie Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
I have some very, very political comments to say just on that quote alone. So come join us on Saturday, and I will tell you why. But anyway, sorry, what was I going to say? So
yeah, sorry.
People who are taught to fight. There are people who are obviously taught to fight with guns. These people are soldiers and police. Soldiers tend to stick something sharp and pointy on a long gun. Police, it's all about keeping the gun for you.
Yeah.
So there are essentially two ways of keeping the gun to yourself. And the easiest way is to have a retention holster. So that's basically a holster that the gun doesn't just slide out of. It's got actual mechanical interlocks that you need to release. So, and then you have to keep that in there. So you'll quite often see when police get tackled to the ground by some scumbag, the police officer may not be pulling his gun at any point. The gun may never come up, but you will see that the cop on the ground will have his hand on the gun, pushing it into his holster. Because if any well-designed gun in a well-designed holster cannot discharge. Which is so the police officer doesn't want that gun to discharge unless it's pointed somewhere that he wants it to discharge. So he needs to keep it in the holster. The easiest way to do that is to use all that strength in his arm to push down on it, which gives him, because it's really, really hard, even with two hands, to overcome that.
Yeah.
But it also gives the cop another hand free to grab something else from his assorted toolkit. Baton, taser, pepper spray, the guy's ear and rip it off like Mike Tyson.
Quick snack.
Or alternatively, there is what's called weapon retention. And that's basically where you... How do I describe this in a way that's both YouTube friendly and accurate? No, so if you've got the handgun out of the holster, you obviously don't want the bad guy getting his hands on it. And you also...
Welcome to the gun stream.
So one of the easiest things in the world is to pull the gun back to your hip bone or your rib cage. That way, you can feel where the gun is going. You don't need to look at the sights if you lock the gun against your hip or ribs, and then you can angle your body slightly away, and then you can push out with your other hand to keep them back. So you have a gun on them, and they can ideally not reach the gun, and then you have options. And that option may be to put the gun back in your holster and then punch them in the face. Or it may be to pull the trigger. But it gives you that extra second to think about it.
Speaking of option, what do you think of this option?
Yes. The magic... I have electromagnets in my hands that allow me to rotate a gun 90 degrees without
let's welcome to Bezek Happy Stream.
That was pretty cool. I want to see it again.
Yeah.
Thanks to those fuckers.
I know. This is not believable, but it's so cool.
I'm suspending my disbelief right here.
Unfortunately, as someone that's ever held as someone that's fired a shotgun, no. That's how you break your wrist.
I want my entertainment
that guy's
cool.
wrists are a fine red powdery mist now, but it doesn't really matter. He's a super guy. Look at his face. He says, loss of physics doesn't matter to me. Okay.
It's Christian Bale, so I can give him that.
Unfortunately, this movie could have been a lot better than it is. Unfortunately, they went a bit too stupid when they need to go a bit cool. They need to go cool, but not dumb.
Yeah, but also this movie came in like 2001, 2000, something like that. So it's a bit old now.
Yeah, before they'd invented movies, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah, and running water and everything. Australia didn't have any electricity at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the scene continue with more like, as someone say, Fantasyland, like the gunfighting doesn't make much sense. Maybe not that. Yeah, this. Yes.
There we go. They hit an assassin's gun. Well, why didn't you use that earlier?
This is a special gun they have.
He found God and made a miracle.
Yeah, it's a really special gun. They've apparently figured out how to put a large caliber round in a gun without it having any recoil whatsoever.
And this scene also.
If you just keep two hands on a gun, like at that closer range, it gets slightly less ridiculous. But yeah, there's so many things wrong with it from not even a gun perspective, but from a human body mechanics perspective.
You mean that you cannot spinny, shooty?
Oh no, I'm not even talking about him. You cannot shoot a guy in the head and then have him stand there while you shoot him 4 more times.
Yes.
If you've shot him in the head so accurately that you've shattered the glass on his motorcycle helmet, your second shot's going to miss him because he's already going to be on the ground.
No. Bodies doesn't fall right after being shot. There is a wall. There's a wall for that.
The rule of cool. Just like how if you've got someone who's really good with a katana, you have the stare down, and then you have the swing, and then all of a sudden one guy's moved and the other guy's just staying there, and you wait 3 seconds and half the guy just slides.
The katana never breaks.
It is when they put the sword back in the sheath, they magically.
Yeah. Also,
it goes click, and then the guy starts sliding apart.
God, I fucking hate that part in fucking any sword movie thing.
Yeah,
ever.
and
I hate it so much.
Katana also cut everything, never breaks. They are stronger and more efficient than a regular longsword or something.
Right.
Anime told me that.
And look where that brought us.
Well, I found basic.
I could spend like another half hour explaining the whole katana thing, but let's not.
Yeah. No. But so to close the stream, because I will close it. I just wanted to have a bit of your expertise on weapon and martial art with the mixing of gun and fighting like that. I know that in Equilibrium this doesn't make sense when the fantasy aspect of thing, jumping, shooting, and no one reacts, but. Yeah, I was wondering if in John Wick he made it more like realistic, believable, and it's almost like a way of fighting with a gun in close range.
To summarize the whole thing, the difference between John Wick and Equilibrium is that while John Wick may do things that are unnecessary or not entirely reasonable, he never does anything that's beyond the realms of possibility. Everything he does could be done.
Okay.
Theoretically, is at least within the realms of possibility.
Just like the pressure click, the pressure check. I don't know, like with the pistol. Yeah.
Like nobody in real life would ever do that because it's completely pointless. There's a million better ways to check. And of course, like you might do that if you're picking up just a random gun off the ground with one hand. Yeah, you'd absolutely want to see, is this gun anything more than a paperweight? But he's put a magazine with rounds in it into a gun, worked the action, and then checked to see if that did anything. If you're going to do that, use the hand that's already there. But it's cool and it's possible. That's the crucial thing. It's possible. And John Wick, not John Wick.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves could absolutely do that flick and check thing. That's entirely within the realms of possible.
What's the picture?
But yeah, there's nothing like it's.
Let's
some of
finish
the things that he does improbable, especially that many in a row. Yeah, sure, but nothing's impossible. Which,
well, it's also in the spirit of the movie and the story. It's a very ground-based story. Like it's not superhuman. It's just normal human being, competent at fighting and killing with a revenge boner.
I'd say it's a little bit more specific, but it's less so competent as in John Wick's 40 and he's been using guns since he was 4.
Yeah, I've heard that he has not a dark past, but he knew a thing or two about being in a shitty situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been Baba Yaga for however many years prior to his time off for his woman and dog reasons.
Oh no, I'm talking about the real Keanu Reeves, like real life.
Oh, Keanu Reeves. Yeah, apparently he had a bit of a weird and rough time.
Yeah, if I'm correct, I think it was when the time he was in Hawaii, he was like dead broke.
Yeah, but yeah, it must have been strong. But yeah, like the thing with John Wick, not Keanu Reeves this time, but John Wick is everything he does can easily be explained by the fact that he's been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, unlike Equilibrium, where apparently 3 weeks of super magic, totally not ripping off karate with our katas training will allow you to fire a 12-gauge shotgun with one hand.
This scene is beautiful. Don't criticize it. It's magic. It's wonderful. Spinning gun bomb.
On a completely unrelated note, that's the last thing I'll say before I let you do whatever you want with your own show, Chris. But if someone wants something to just laugh their ass off, go find whoever your favorite gun tuber is and get them and watch them do a review on Equilibrium. That sounds like an hour of hilarious.
Oh, they will go crazy because the movie is for anyone who's curious and have not watched it. I heavily recommend the movie. By the way, it's not a gun flick. It's more like a philosophical
flick with a gun.
No. It's a philosophical movie with like what does it mean to be human? So the plot of the story of Equilibrium is the human society like almost exploded, like everyone died with a war and everything, and they're forbidden emotion, like real emotion. No one is supposed to feel anything. They even like inject themselves a medicine at regular time to see to check that no one is have any emotion at all. And this movie is very good, Equilibrium. But this technique, the fighting thing, is just the technique and the teaching they use to enforce the law. Like they are more like police officer.
Oh.
Yeah, Equilibrium is a very cool movie. Very, very cool movie.
Nice.
But yeah, the gunfight is a bit crazy.
I don't mind crazy. Crazy's nice.
And my final question. Yeah, go ahead.
One of these days, I'm going to convert Trim into a gun nut too.
Oh,
I'm already halfway there.
Working on it.
I'm already there too. It's just that I don't have many options in Belgium. But if I had the option, yeah, I think I would be sometime at the gun range and something. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. The temptation to just get myself a license and be in a gun club is immense.
All I have to say is that I'm trying to convince Trim that it would totally be legal and within the United States Constitution to take his boat and arm it with black powder cannons.
And I think we will
How
leave
about
at
you
that.
don't spoil my plans before I can do them?
My final question to you is: will you go watch John Wick 4 in the cinema when it releases?
I will answer this very carefully. I will watch it upon release as soon as I am able.
Okay.
Yar har fiddly dee.
Yeah, I will go to watch the cinema.
Okay.
I just want to.
If I had the spare cash, I would absolutely be there on Australia does release nights because America's weird. Like quite often, things will be played at midnight. So release day starting at midnight. If I had the money, I would absolutely be at a midnight showing of John Wick.
If I don't, when does the movie release?
Somewhere between now and the return of Jesus Christ.
Shut up, Trim.
So what, Tuesday?
24 of March. Well, I say something to you, my dear Bezek. If my Kickstarter is successful, I will pay for your movie.
Ooh.
I offer it to
well,
you.
Bezek, now you have motivation.
There you go. There you go. You've heard him, everybody. Go over to Kickstarter and check out.
I will even throw a bit of change for popcorn and a soda or something.
And now you just made Bezek the most aggressive shiller of your book. Congratulations.
It was a nice favor, but then he went and made the mistake. It's the popcorn that's gonna kill him.
What? I don't understand. What's happening? There's something wrong.
Popcorn.
The movie is the cheap part of the movie and popcorn equation.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe like 20, 25 bucks or something. Yeah, have some fun. Have some fun. Because I know that you love how to say that, gun culture or something. And I wasn't sure that you loved the movie because loving guns and loving a movie well, gun in it is not the same thing. But yeah, if I'm able, yeah, I will offer you that.
John Wick is one of the best gun movies ever. Like you can remove the plot and it'd still be one of the best gun movies ever.
The DLC light the shield bacon.
Actually, the plot is the worst part of it because you're just sitting there going, "When's he going to stab someone with a pencil? When's he going to stab someone with a pencil? Come on, I've heard rumors about this. When's he going to stab someone with a pencil?"
And when he stabs someone with a pencil, he's just like, "Okay, now it's no reason to watch the movie." And then he does more.
Hello, Stormy. Sorry, you come at the very end of the stream, like 5 minutes, and I'm closing in. What's your favorite gun scene in John Wick, the free movie that was already out? Because for me, it's the final assault on the hotel at the third movie. It was just glorious.
I quite like when he pulls out the shotgun in the first movie when he's going after the father.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just some great shotgunning good times.
When he shot the car and all.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the best part when he shot the car. and remember, rule of cool, and there are certain kinds of ammunition that would do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not a normal shotgun, it's a very assault or tactical one, I don't know.
Well, it's not so much the gun itself as what the gun's shooting, because you've got your sorted rounds from bird shot for dealing with birds but won't harm a person, to buckshot, which is the classic, to a slug, which is literally a massive chunk of metal flying through the air at several hundred kilometers an hour. And then you can go for the fancy stuff.
Oh, yeah. Stormy Eyes, I understand why you love the Russian
I agree with Stormy Eyes. The Russian bathhouse is the best one.
Oh, yeah. With the music and all. The music was perfect for the scene. Like, a bit eerie and, silent approach. And, yeah, it's just murder everyone.
Oh, there is one thing. There is one thing I need to say.
The way they choreograph... Sorry, Trem.
That's right.
Orgasm all over it really quickly. The way the music, the way they cut that... The choreography, it's just beautifully put together.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily my favorite gun scene, but for my favorite actor, it's it's probably up in my top 2 John Wick scenes but it's not my favorite gun use.
Yeah, the assault on the hotel for me was just everything was over the top. Like, oh, they have new armor, we have to get more potent weapon. Oh man. And even when he used I think he shot a grenade, or he launched a grenade and then he go to another corner or something. It was like strategic defense with 3 dudes, well, 2 and 1 useless one who was in the couch, with a SWAT team coming in. Oh, it was glorious. It was glorious. Well, everyone, sorry to interrupt, and I know that some of you just come, but yeah, it's a very we were on for more than 2 hours, so yeah,
I just want to say one thing though before, because this is in the theme of the series. John Wick is the result of someone who cares about what they're making, who's passionate about their project.
Yes,
this is what we want to see. This is why it is liked.
Yes.
Because
this is what
people
when you
care about people who make it care about it.
And on that note, I will close the stream with a final anecdote on the John Wick movie to prove that what you are saying is entirely true. It's in the second movie. First, so you know that the director of John Wick was a guy who was a stunt double for Matrix. Stunt double projection. And in the very beginning of the second movie, yes, this is it. So, in John Wick 2, the movie starts with this panel. So this is just a brick wall on the building somewhere. Doesn't care much where it is, and I have a better picture. Here it is. Small one, but yeah. So you see the scale of the thing, and on that wall, you can see a projection, like a very old movie, like old projector that the band can fire up and something. And this particular projection is one, if not the one, very first stunt. In French we call it cascade, but a stunt exercise or something that was filmed on a film. So this is the proof by A plus B that this movie and this franchise is made by very professional people and passionate people, because the stunt double of the Matrix with the director of the movie is passionate about his craft, just as John Wick is about his role. And everything that come into the franchise now has gone like they went to respect the craft of this movie. And yes, this is what we want: passionate people, professional people making great entertainment. And yeah,
that's a good way to close.
Research this first scene with the first stunt exercise ever recorded. This is true, by the way. I don't have the specific, but yeah, this is the scene. The very first image you see on the second John Wick movie. So, on that note, have a nice one, people, and thank you for coming. And yeah, maybe in the future we will see more basics in the podcast. The angry Australian. maybe this going to be a trio instead of a duo.
Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. Have a nice one, people. Thank you again. Bye bye.
Bye.